of the Panthers Athletics, and I'm very honored to be here in front of you today and be walking you through this afternoon's press conference. We will let you know that following our press conference today, if you are here and want to speak to one of the coaches individually, you will have some time to do that at the conclusion of our activities. If you do have a desire to speak to one of the players of the teams, you will have to work through the sports information departments of each of the individual schools. At this time, what I'll do is I'm going to introduce each of our coaches, and then we'll go one at a time with our coaches. And if you have any questions after they make a opening statement, feel free to please do so. So starting here from your left to right, from Azusa Pacific, TJ Hardman. From Drury, Molly Miller. From IUP, Tom McConnell. From Lubbock Christian, Steve Gomez. From North Georgia, Buffy Burson. From Nova Southeastern, Leanne Freeland. From St. Anselm, Corey Bollard. I got the bow part right, but I did the lard part wrong. And from Southwestern Oklahoma State, Kelsey Music. These are our 8 coaches who will be with our teams here this week. So we'll start with Azusa Pacific, the Cougars. TJ Hardman in his 11th season maybe had the most dramatic entrance into the Elite Eight as they hit a game-winning 3 at the buzzer in their regional final. Led Azusa Pacific to an NAIA title and now trying to lead the Cougars to an NCAA championship in their first Elite Eight appearance. Coach Hardman, if you have an opening statement, we'd like to hear from you. And we'll go ahead and have you move the microphone a little closer as well.
We've had a great year. It's been a lot of fun just to be in our conference and our league, and for us to see our team grow and mature and just enjoy the game of basketball along with all of other things that they're involved in. And it's just, Coach, it's a pleasure just to see young women growing up and becoming more mature in the game of basketball, but just in classroom and are outside, whether we took a mission trip to Mexico and those kinds of things. It's just neat to see them develop into women that I know 5-10 years from now are going to be texting me. I got a text the other day, said 8 years ago today you were winning the NAIA national championship, and it was that team all back and forth. I go, that's just a unique bond that you can't buy at all. You just have to go through and experience, and it's been fun for us.
Questions? Coach, all 4 of your conference performers were underclassmen this year. Were you surprised at all by the success your team is enjoying?
No. We were really good last year with all of them being sophomores. And so we thought, hey, this next year we'll be juniors. We start 4 juniors and 1 sophomore. So, and the seniors we have are very good leaders. They're integral just to our success on and off the court. So no, not surprised.
Find it interesting that you're a school that has a ton of travel involved because you get to go to Hawaii and you made a trip up to Seattle. Does this turn into just another road trip, getting on another plane coming to Columbus?
No.
This is different.
When you're going to Hawaii, I mean, you're packing your bathing suit and different things.
Well, no, wait a minute.
I think every one of our players has seen a recruiting picture from me on my balcony on Waikiki. You could be here. You know? But those are fun. We love doing that. But this is just a unique experience. And so, yeah, when they're getting ready to come here, they knew this was really special.
So in other words, 45 and drizzle isn't Honolulu?
You know, it was raining in Honolulu this year, but it was still 80.
Anything else for Coach Hardman? Go ahead.
Just 2 days after Thanksgiving, you guys were 3-3, 3-game losing streak, and you're 25-2 since. What has changed?
We got better. At that time, when we started off the year, we had an honorable mention All-American point guard, who was also a junior, who was very quick, and another girl behind her who was equally as quick. So we were kind of a trapping, run and jump, all sorts of different things. And both of them are not playing right now for different reasons, injury type stuff. So at that point, we started to figure out, you know what, maybe we're not that good at doing those kinds of things anymore. And so we started exploring, hey, what are we good at? Well, we're pretty long, so let's do some things that take advantage of that. And so when we made that switch, it also kind of slowed us down a little bit. It just changed a bunch of stuff. And so doesn't usually happen with a lot of my teams. That in the middle of the year, we go, okay, time out. we're doing something else, but it turned out well for us.
Go ahead.
Coach, your thoughts on your quarterfinal opponent, IUP?
They're 29-3. They pass the ball very well. They shoot the ball well. They work well as a unit, you can tell, and they have a lot of experience, and they've won together. So I think all of us are at least on 3-game winning streaks here, but they play with that confidence that that good teams have. So that'll, I think their leading shooter, scorer is their point guard, and their next player is their post, and so they have a good inside and outside game. So I think that's what all of us want. So it'll be a good game.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach. Next up, we have from Drury University and the Lady Panthers, head coach Molly Miller. In her 5th season, has led teams to the NCAA tournament all 5 years as head coach, regional finals in 4 of the 5, and now here in the Elite 8. And the Lady Panthers became the first team in the Great Lakes Valley Conference history to both go undefeated in the regular season and then win the postseason tournament. Coach, congratulations on getting here. Opening statement, please.
Thank you. First, I was watching that video of that shot on the way over here. Incredible. My favorite part was the girl with the sprained ankle hobbling on one leg to dogpile in, and it just made me think about what a championship experience, and that's what it's all about. And so to branch off that, thank you to ODU, the NCAA, the Ohio Sports Commission for making this a true championship experience for our kids. The unseen hours are not lost on us. It's pretty special when you walk into your hotel and your logos are on the floor and you're really appreciative. Excited to be here. In October, we had our first practice. We lost about 40 points of production with 2 seniors graduating and then one to an ACL who she returned to us second semester, but there was a lot of question marks up in the air. In fact, me and my AD joked, I have a 2-year-old, her name's Crosby, you'll see her running around, but this team kind of reminded me of my 2-year-old when she started to walk. Like, sometimes you'd see her going down the hall and she'd be kind of on a run and you'd be like, all right, here we go. The next second, she's hitting her head on the corner of the coffee table and you're like, shoot, back to square one. And that's kind of how this team felt. There was ups and downs and highs and lows, but they stayed pretty steady and stayed the course. And I was just really proud of kind of, there's some pressure on them, going into postseason with an undefeated record, but I don't think they paid much attention to that noise. It was kind of full steam ahead. They accepted that challenge, and what a great region we came out of. 3 tough games, so very happy to be here and excited to be a part of this Elite 8.
Questions for Coach Miller?
Paul, you've had the unique experience of being a Missouri team and actually playing Nova once already on a trip down to Florida back in December. They're a different team now. What is different about them, and how does that present challenges for you?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an anomaly. Leanne and I were talking about this, seeing each other during the regular season and then being one of the 8 left and seeing each other again. I think both teams are really different now. Obviously, you hope that you grow from December. I think both teams have done that. We're going to see a couple new faces, so that'll be a different twist for us, but always well prepared. I mean, kind of have that history of the GLVC when Leanne was in Indy, so I know how good of a coach she is, and she's going to have her kids ready. At this point, in the game, you're going to play tough competition throughout, and it's going to be a great matchup.
You guys were kind of stuck in the Sweet 16 for the last 3 years. You broke through this year. What do you tell your kids in order to not be satisfied with that accomplishment to overshadow this week?
Yeah, after we won the regional game, they were excited, and I asked them in the locker room, I said, are you guys still hungry? And one of our star players, Haley, just looking at said, I'm starving. And she was talking about food. I was talking about, the next one. But, it's just something, it's hard to get to this point. It really is. I think we can all attest to it's super challenging to make it here. When you have a region filled with the Ashlands and the Grand Valleys and the Lewises, you kind of check that box, but then it's a whole new ball game when you're in the Elite 8. So I think just naturally, all teams are going to come with that focus and anticipation of having great matchups and playing their hardest.
And sort of piggybacking off that, what's the excitement level like now that you're here?
Oh, again, to be having a police escort to the banquet, to being greeted the second and the third time that I meet people and they're calling me by name, they're calling my daughter by name. It's an exciting, the air, there's an excitement in the air for these kids. And again, I'm just so pleased that they can have this championship type experience. And at the end of the day, you know, it's survive and advance, but I think the memories that they're gonna make on this trip will last a lifetime.
Anything else for Coach Miller? Coach, thank you. Next up from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, the Crimson Hawks, Tom McConnell. 6th season during the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Tournament, Coach McConnell became the school's all-time wins leader. And this is the 2nd straight and 3rd all-time appearance for IUP in the Elite Eight. Coach, congratulations on getting here. Opening statement, please.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great honor and a privilege to be here. And the 2 words that I keep using or coming back to most often are humbled and thankful for the experience. Humbled because we know how challenging it is, and we have great respect for the PSAC conference that we play in, and just to come out of there and to be able to represent the Atlantic region is very special, and thankful as a coach to be able to coach such a special group of young ladies and to be able to make this journey with them. I feel like I've had a front row seat to you know, some pretty special moments in the careers of some special young ladies and their families. So I feel very fortunate. And the thing that I'm asked most often in the last couple of days, are you surprised that you've been able to come back? And I always answer it this way. We lost 3 really good seniors last year, really good. And so we weren't sure. But one of the things that we adopted several years ago and we tried to really pour into our players on a daily basis is our theme has become no limits, no limits. To try to take the limits off of what we can do and what we can be. And we talk a lot about that. It hangs in our locker room. And right before the season started, I was going to visit my daughter and her family in Miami. Her husband's with the Coast Guard. And so right before we were going there, our assistant said to me, you know, I think we need a theme for this team, for this year, within our theme of no limits. I said, I think you're right. That's good. We'll do that. And so I said, I'll think about it while we're away. So as we got ready to leave, I saw a book by Tyler Perry called Higher is Waiting. I said, I like that. Let's go with Higher is Waiting. That sounds good. And then we got to Miami and I went to the ocean with my son. And we're standing in 80 degrees and it's water and it's up to here, but there's seaweed everywhere. And I'm like, this is Miami? I don't know if I like this. And all of a sudden, 2 young guys came running out. They were a little better shape than I am, and they went further out to where there was no seaweed and the water was beautiful. And I said, that's it. That's it. We're going to go further. That's what we got to do. And then on the way home, on the plane, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and I'm watching the row for the pop and the peanuts to come down. And all I want is those peanuts. And all of a sudden, the plane, we hit turbulence and the plane did everything but hit the ground. And it was bumping and it was going everywhere. And all of a sudden, the pilot came on and he said, stay in your seats. We're going to rise higher and take it to 35,000 feet. And I said, did anybody else hear that? Rise higher. I got back and I said to our staff, it's rise higher. That's what we're going with. And so we started to make our poster with no limits, rise higher. And 3 weeks into preseason, we're getting ready to do a gathering with supporters of our women's basketball team. And my assistant says to me, the players don't like rise higher. What do you mean they don't like rise higher? I had a Field of Dream moments. I heard a voice on a plane. It's rise higher. It's got to be. I said, what do they like? She said, never satisfied. So at the gathering, I asked the 35 people who were there, I said, no, never satisfied? rise higher. It was 35-0, never satisfied. So that's what hangs in our locker room right now. No limits, never satisfied. And I think they've embodied that, of really believing in what they could do and what they can be. And when you have a veteran group and an experienced group, they don't get too high or too low. And yeah, we're thankful and we're humbled for the experience and looking forward to the opportunity to compete this week.
So if there's any other coaches out there that need slogans and poster boards, you've already got them made up, right? They're just waiting for you somewhere in a closet. Any questions for Coach McConnell?
Coach, you always, every year, about your senior class, and you always, put a lot of pressure on them, I think, because they're obviously your team leaders. This is different with the 5 who have come back, who tasted that Elite 8 success, made it to the national semifinals. How valuable have they been over the last couple weeks through the PSAC tournament, through the regional tournament?
They've been invaluable all year and a really special group. And I think special teams, and I think everybody here would probably speak to this, when you have a group of players and they take ownership of it and for it, something special happens. And you reach a point where you can just step back a little bit and you keep just pointing them in the direction they want to go. You remind them of what they want to do and where they want to go. And I think we've reached that point with this group. There were times in practice here, we have 5 new players, where we would make a teaching point, and then I would just step back because one of our seniors, they were teaching, they were correcting, they were really mentoring to our younger players. And I just think it speaks very highly of them. And so, yeah, it's a special group.
Coach, you're just allowing 54 points a game defensively. That's 9th best in the country. What's been the defensive mentality of your group this year?
I just think they're dialed in and they love to compete, and they know the importance of it. They like to run, and they know in order to run, you've got to be able to get stops and rebound the basketball. And they're so it's just they just have a mindset, and they know that it's important. And I just got to say this. I turned on the video, and one of the things that's great about this time of year is to be able to turn on Synergy and just watch a team that you've never seen play before, and now study them and get to know them and see what makes them great and what makes them special. When I turned on the video to watch Azusa Pacific, the first thing that jumped off the screen, TJ had mentioned, was their length. Their length. I had to go back, and I thought maybe I hit the wrong button. I think this is Arizona. I think this is Arizona State, but it wasn't. And as you watch them more and more, you get to see that it's more than length. It's skill. It's a very skilled, versatile basketball team that can shoot the basketball, that can score inside, and they do a lot of really, really good things. It's a well-coached team, and they really give you a lot of different looks and sets to put those skilled players in a position to score. So defensively, that'll be a real challenge for us tomorrow.
Any other questions for Coach McConnell? Thank you, Coach.
What kind of defense?
I said individual time afterwards, all right? Next up from Lubbock Christian University and the Lady Chaparrals is Steve Gomez, 16th season, another program that has transitioned into Division II, and in that time, 3rd Elite 8 tournament in 4 years, the only 4 years that they've been eligible as a member of NCAA Division II. And the 2015-16 Lady Chaps won the NCAA Division II National Championship with a perfect 35-0 record. Coach, congratulations on returning, and an opening comment from you, please.
I just want some pop. What is that?
Coke.
Okay. I mean, what a fortunate opportunity, what a blessing, and echo what Coach Miller said. Just what a great reception and welcome here. There's so many better coach teams that haven't had the chance to be here, and just ask my girls, they'll tell you that, because they know we've just been very fortunate. I mean, we've had some incredibly fortunate things happen this year to be in this situation. What we want to do there is to keep everything in perspective and not let basketball rule our life and rule our world and whether we're going to be happy or sad. We talk about having not a culture of success, but a successful culture. A culture of success, who's going to define what that is? If this is what every year is going to define success, then that means everybody else didn't have it, and that's really not true. There's some teams that had incredible success this year and don't have the blessing to be here, and so we want to continue to really strive to build a successful culture that these girls, like TJ mentioned, will be great wives, great moms, great workers, great citizens, and so we want to do that and excel in the classroom. Again, I'm thankful for our girls. We've had a 3.75 team GPA, and we want to keep that. We're hoping to keep that in the top 5 in the country. Those things are important to us, and we want to have fun. And our girls are goofy. If you've been around them, you've already seen that. Just a great group of girls that love each other. And you know, we've just been fortunate this year that most of the teams we've played have had their worst shooting nights of the year. And I don't know what the world's going on, but it's worked that way over and over. And so we hope, hoping Buffy will keep them, breaking them up tomorrow. But, just a lot of things have gone our way this year. But I'm just thankful for our kids. And again, these opportunities are rare, and we don't ever want to take them for granted. So you want to cherish the moment. Then when you get here, you get greedy. You want to keep on playing. So. Some 2 teams will get to play on Friday night, and who knows, whoever it is, it's been fun to just see these teams play. We were on and off regional situations, so we were able to watch some of those regional finals and see just the great teams that are here. So they're honored to be part of this.
Questions for Coach Gomez?
Coach, you did take the scenic route to get here, having a neutral site game, a road game, and a home game as part of your regional. To compare it to what everybody else went through, what you've gone through in the past, having 3 straight games at one location, what did you like different about this year's unique format that you had to play your way to get here?
Yeah, we appreciate the NCAA accommodating with West Texas A&M hosting the men and women's both. So there was 16 teams, so they split it into the 1 and 2 seeds home games for the first 2 games, and so we went to Colorado Mesa. And obviously we're going to say right now it was great. What else could I say? If it worked out our way, the percentage chances of us winning a neutral game and winning a tough road game, and what a really good team, a great environment, that was amazing experience to win, and then to have the 1 seed lose and us to get to host the regional final. And again, Angelo State, if that game was anywhere else, they would be the ones here. We were just fortunate to squeak by a home game. So we obviously loved it. It was just an incredible experience to have a regional final 3 years in our gym over the last 4 years. And so that's a lot of it. But it's neat to see some of these lower seeds. It's incredible. And when you get this time of year, it's not, the seeds don't really matter. You just got to play. You got to play 40 good minutes or else you're done. And so we've seen some great things happen by these coaches on this table here. Again, I loved it. It was great. But the home court, the site's never going to be the magic thing. You guys know, you got to play.
Coach, talk about TJ's squad being here and seeing old foes from years past.
Yeah, they beat the dog out of us a couple times back in the NAI days. And Coach Burson, North Georgia, I don't think we ever faced them, but I know she had many great years back in those days. But it's neat to see old people come to the game. There's just so many good people here. It'd be nice to have a chance to get to know everybody better over the course of time, but that's the nature of the game.
What about this team stands out or is different than the other 2 that you've taken to an Elite 8 coach?
Like here? We lost a first team All-American, a 6'4" girl last year. That's really a very, very good player, versatile player that, wondered, well, what are you going to do without her? And I thought, well, I don't know. We're going to have to smoke and mirrors somehow. And honestly, I think we've statistically, again, you can't compare year to year much, but defensively, I don't know if we're better or similar, but it's hard to figure out. Honestly, I wish I could tell you it's because we did this. It's just, you guys all know the chemistry of the team makes such a difference. Last year was incredible, and this year, our leadership has been consistent, and we just had players all do their job. Everybody's sort of done their job when they needed to, as opposed to a few doing a lot and some taking days off. So we just have to continue to do our job.
Anything else for Coach Gomez? Thank you, Coach. The North Georgia Nighthawks, coached by Buffy Burson, 25th season. Our most veteran coach up here at the dais today, making their first ever Elite Eight appearance, but 5 consecutive seasons of 19 or more victories. Coach, congratulations. Opening comment, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's obviously great to be here. Been coaching, like you said, 25 years at the same institution, and has some success on the NAIA level, but never made it to the Elite Eight. So just to be here, not just happy to be here, obviously want to do a little bit of damage while we all are here. And you know, we're normally sitting up here with our players, so to be up here with these guys is pretty special too. And congratulations to everybody. First class experience for us so far. You know, our team, like I said, I've been coaching a long time, and this group is special. I know everybody's coaching a really special team at this time of year, but, you know, on and off the court, they've just been fighters, and we've had to, you know, we've gone through a little bit of adversity, you know, throughout the season, and just to see, like Coach mentioned earlier, just to see them grow and to be able to get to this point, to be the Elite Eight and have this experience is just quite amazing. So, like I said, not just happy to be here, but happy to be here.
Questions? Coach, I noticed when looking at your stats, you've used the same starting lineup for all 34 games this season. First of all, how did you pull that off? And second of all, the importance of the consistency of that.
Well, we stayed healthy, so that definitely helped. You know, I don't know, it was just a situation where we had 3 really good seniors that are in that role, and then, you know, a couple of sophomores that played a lot last year for us, and they've just, you know, and it drops off from there as far as experience goes. So just being able to have that, you know, that's kind of been the answer for that.
Go ahead.
Coach, 2004, you're in the NAIA Elite Eight. Since then, making the transition to Division II, you've made 2 regionals, making the semifinals your first appearance, the finals in the regional last year. Now you're in the Elite Eight. Talk about the transition going from an Elite Eight at the NAIA level, where we seem to be in the NAIA Sweet 16 Elite Eight almost every year, to getting to this stage now at the NCAA level.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get here. These guys have already said that. You know, and it's been a lot of hard work through the years just to get back to this. You know, it's a bigger stage. We obviously have some tournament experience. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Already playing in, you know, the way the D2 model is, being able to play your conference tournament in the regional and then play 3 more games here. You know, it's just, you know, I don't know. You know, it's been, you know, our time in Division II. Played a lot of really great teams. Our region is really tough, and just, you know, I don't know. It's just been great.
Coach, in the last 16 games that you've won in a row, you've only had 1 game decided by 10 points or less. When your team's going well, what can we expect to see?
Expect to see tomorrow?
Well, just expect to see when your team is going well. Why are they playing so well?
I don't know. You know, we put a lot of emphasis on the defensive side of the ball, and not talk a whole lot about offense. And that seems to have been worked. You know, we've had a really good February and March because of that. Less emphasis on that. So as long as we can just, you know, I don't know how we're going to stop these guys, because they can obviously score from all different positions. So we got our work cut out for us.
Anything else for Coach Burson? Coach, thank you. From Nova Southeastern University, the Sharks are coached by Leanne Freeland, 8th season there, 4th appearance in the Elite Eight for Nova Southeastern, and they have reached the Elite Eight despite finishing 4th in the Sunshine State Conference. More on that in a moment. Coach, your opening comment, please.
Thank you. Yeah, we kind of got here the hard way, that's for sure. We played a very difficult schedule this season. And in fact, I was reviewing our schedule, and at some point, 7 of the games that we played were against teams that were #1 in their region. And 4 of those games were against Florida Southern. And I think for us to be here speaks very strongly to how strong our league really is. And we're buried all the way down in South Florida, and a lot of different programs across the nation don't know how strong our league is. But it's very strong. And there were many times this season, though, I wondered why I put the schedule together that I did. I know the coaches up here on the panel here know what a 0.6 or nearly a 0.6 strength of schedule is, but that's where we were. So it was so good. We almost didn't get an NCAA tournament bid because we had lost so many games. We had a similar experience, as one of the coaches mentioned, with 2 point guards going down early in the season. So we were playing until mid-December without a point guard. And so a lot of those losses were because of that. We were trying to figure it out. Unlike Buffy, we've had 13 different players start a game. And luckily, we actually had a plan to bring in 3 players at the semester break. And due to eligibility issues or graduating from their institutions. So it actually worked out extremely well for us. 2 of those 3 players are now starters for us. One of the players who had 1 semester of eligibility left is our starting point guard, Kristen Prassey, who's been phenomenal down the stretch. She had 3 triple doubles at 39 points in the second round of the region tournament. And I just can't be more proud of this team. I think they've showed a lot of hard work and grit. We had a lot of new players this year who didn't really even know that much about Division II. We had a lot of Division I transfers, and it took them a while to understand what it was all about. I kept telling them from day one that this is the most talented team we've ever had, from 1 to 16. And I think it took them until about March 17th to kind of believe that. And then they kind of realized, wow, we could be really good. And they played exceptional down the stretch. And again, we're really happy to be here. I will thank Molly for bringing her team down to our place in December for a game, because our players didn't really know what defense looked like until that game. And it really did help our team understand what kind of defense it takes to be able to be successful. And we actually got very good from that game. We actually reflected throughout the season, because we definitely have the most losses than anyone up here, and we had a lot of opportunity to reflect on, what did we learn from this game? We said that a lot this year, and again, I couldn't be more proud of our entire group, but our 5 captains have been, our 5 seniors have been really phenomenal down the stretch, and we're looking to them to provide leadership as we enter this Elite 8.
Coaches, questions for Coach Freeland?
You lost those 2 players early in the year. Do you think coming back and playing those harder teams, you think you could have won maybe, or at least made the games closer when you had those 2 players?
Definitely. I think everybody probably understands how important point guard play is. And so if we would have had one of the more experienced players with us at that time, I think we could have definitely had a few more wins. Great question.
After losing to Florida Southern 3 times this year, once in the conference tournament game as well, and then you played them in the regional final, what was different in that 4th meeting? How do you convince a team that you can beat somebody after you lost to them 3 times?
Well, the players just kind of decided that was enough. I think, Florida Southern was a great club. They had 2 All-Americans on their team, and we were playing on their home floor, and our players went in with just a very calm, confident demeanor as a unit. I think everybody here has a team that has great team chemistry, but our team chemistry was very strong and poised in that game. But Florida Southern is tough, so we actually played extraordinarily well for 40 minutes. And I think at this point in the season, you just have to focus 1 possession at a time.
And lastly, for you, you played in a national championship game in Division II. Can you relay any of those experiences to your team today?
I think so. I'm very thankful we're on a neutral floor. Back in 1997, we were playing at the University of North Dakota on their home floor with 5,500 fans cheering against us. So thank you for making it a new site. But I just think, again, as all, several coaches have already mentioned, just enjoy the moment. Let's not get too wrapped up in all the, the hype, but let's just enjoy the moment together and have fun.